So I'd left, and then February of 97, so I keep saying 90, February of 87, I turn up at a show, Ashton-under-Lyne, which is in Manchester, just outside of Manchester. And there's a theatre there. And I'm still 18. And Fit walks in. And I said, "Oh, hello." He went, "Oh, how you doing? You okay? Did you get married?" Because I got married on my last match for Joint Promotions when I quit was um, November the 6th. I got married on November the 8th. So I'd seen him that night on the 6th, and I said, "This is my last night. I'm going to work for Brian." He went, "Oh, good for you." And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, good luck with the wedding." Well, he'd remembered that from a few months later when I met him again. He went, "Oh, did you get married?" He said, "Actually, I think I'm on with you tonight." And I'm like, and this is me now at 18, and I've grown up a lot, and I've had to put up with a lot. And you couldn't have got a two-penny nail up my backside when he said I was on with him, because I thought he's gonna like, right, I'm gonna get that. Whatever I thought I was gonna get in Marty, because I'm
Right.
like,
And you've seen what that man can do.
I've seen, and I've seen it firsthand what he can do.
Right.
I've also seen him on TV do it.
Mhm.
There is a match. I've seen him do it to many people. If he was in certain match, you had to protect your spot. And if he was on with somebody who wasn't of his
On the level,
standards,
you're right, the standard that he thought that he was on.
or he had to, if he was, like the European heavy middleweight or light heavyweight champion or whatever whatever belt him and Marty were fighting over, you had he'd eat people up
Right.
because you had to protect you, or you couldn't kill your own credibility.
Right.
Now, I've seen him in my time in Joint Promotions do this with a couple of people. I've seen him on TV do this. Right? There's a match. You can see this match on TV. It's on YouTube against a fella called Black Prince. There was a guy called Steve Prince who did afterwards he did a different thing. He was the one time that I saw him. I wasn't at the show. I just saw it on TV. And he was a local fella from down south somewhere, and he wore a black karate suit, and so that there was the name they gave him, the Black Prince. Well, basically, it was Marty against Fit Finley for the championship, but they couldn't wrestle each other all the time. They had to have other opponents. Well, this was just a different opponent for Fit to beat on TV, but there was no short matches on TV. This is 6 rounds. And Fit's got the ump with this fella. And all I say is watch it. It gets uncomfortable if you know what you're watching, because this fella should have just actually just run away. You got to give him credit.
Right.
Because Fit's just like, he's giving him as little as possible, and just like, but being a pro, I've got to get through this match.
And you were probably thinking that your ultimate daily insurance was about to run out because you just found out that today, the day we're talking about, is the day that you're going to meet Mr. Fit Finley in the ring.
Right. So Ashton-under-Lyne, February 1987. In a theatre, Matt, it's your job to keep me on track. A couple of years ago, I don't watch much TV unless it's English TV. But I was in wherever I was, and there was a British TV show on about the most haunted places in Britain. And it was in this theatre in Ashton-under-Lyne. And all I can say is what a complete load of old cobblers, a load of old nonsense that show was. Because I've wrestled in that theatre loads of times and never once felt, and that, the fella, like one of those moody psychics,
Right.
like he walked in and went, "Oh, I can feel the spirits," and I'm thinking, "You tosspot, you can't feel nothing. What a
Toss
load
pot.
of old crap." So anyway, so an absolute non. Anyway, it was a full show about this theatre.
Right, it's all
And there's
bullshit.
they wrestled there loads of times. Me and Robbie have talked. Me and Brookside have talked about this. Absolute load of old bollocks, nonsense. People will stand for anything. Anyway, um, so I get in the ring with Fit Finlay, and I think, right, well, here we go. But now I am from a different time, and we've talked about last week's episode of, or the episode that we did about, well, many of the episodes about me not me having a certain style
Sure.
and believing in keeping the strength of the job.
And to have
I
no holes in your style
no
and to
no holes, and
right.
I don't believe in playing it,
And
being a
that's
pro wrestler,
something very
right?
important to you.
Very
It's real
important.
when you're in there.
Yes, yes. Um, from the bell ringing till the end of the sixth round when he beat me, it was just as he made me. I wasn't anywhere near the wrestler I became years later. He made me look 1,000 times better than I ever could, but there was chemistry there, and it never stopped. And so we became regular opponents, which we'll get into in a little bit, or maybe a separate episode,
Do you
because
have
there's a
any
lot.
specific recollections about talking to him after the match or pre the match or
No,
anything
no,
like that?
there was none of that went on.
Okay.
People don't believe, it's like hard to explain. I, you just go out there and you just do your thing,
Right.
right? And we would all train differently, and we were trained to go out and react and listen to the crowd, or react, or just wrestle, or we and I found that with people from the 80s, any of the people that were trained before the 80s, it was the same. When I wrestled all the luchadors in WCW, they were all trained in that way. Then I didn't matter they hadn't been to Mexico. I could wrestle. I wrestled all of those fellas. There was a universal language of wrestling. We all understood the body mechanics, and so we could all wrestle each other.